This is the shocking story behind the genius Kanye West's potential final song called Never See Me Again. Let's take us back to the year 2009, before My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, before Yeezus, The Life of Pablo, Watch the Throne, of course, Donda, and everything else that resulted. Kanye West isolated himself in Japan and curated this song to die off to. This was, of course, after the 2009 VMA incident with Taylor Swift, in which his media perception and by the public was just completely scrutinized, and he was just ostracized and just absolutely battled or attacked for what he had done, and just kind of spoiled his image, and everyone started to hate him. He was public enemy number one. So he moved to Japan just to kind of cope and just focus on music, focus on himself, and to focus on his battle with suicidal depression at this time, because it's worth noting that this is also 2 years after the death of his mother, Donda West, which if any of you are Kanye West fans or have seen his documentary, know something about him, Donda West's death just it absolutely shook him and just changed his life and just changed who he was. He was raised by just his mother, and they just had such a beautiful mother-son relationship, and he looked up to her so much. And when she died tragically, it just completely changed who he was. It's quite sad, actually. So at this time, he's trying to deal with these two things, and he's really struggling. It's at this time he also came across the artist of Yukiko Okada, who is an 18-year-old singer and actress from Japan, who's famous because of she committed suicide by jumping out the window of her 7th floor because of a relationship she was no longer embarked with a famous Japanese actor. And she ended the suicide note saying, "I just wanted to see him again." Following her suicide, it ensued a wave of several copycat suicides by an overwhelming number of young girls in Japan, and just people all over who were that heard about this certain case and recreated it, because in Japan it's just a very different culture, and it was very fantasized. Just the idea of jumping out is a very powerful way of death, and it's something that even Kanye West saw its power in, quite literally. And in the song Power, which many of you guys have heard, which was actually on the ensuing album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, you can read the lyrics here. It says, "Now this will be beautiful death. I'm jumping out the window. I'm letting everything go. Letting everything go. Now this will be beautiful death." And Kanye West, when he wrote the song Never See Me Again, was quite literally on the verge of committing suicide. And it's retroactively, we can look back and see how haunting of a song this is. And he actually sampled Yukiko Okada's song in the background. It's a 9-minute song just that he wrote completely isolated in his room. He produced everything, and of course recorded the whole thing by himself, just away from everybody, while he's dealing with just immense mental health battles and on the verge of committing suicide. He had no one, and all he had was his music. And as we all know, fortunately, by the will of God, by the will of his own personal overcoming and just brilliance, he's okay. And he moved to Hawaii and recorded one of the most influential albums of all time, in the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, in which he was snubbed for a Grammy Award he should have won. And of course, his career just taken off since then. You know, it's retroactively we can look back at the song in this moment in his life, which not many people know about, even Kanye fans, and it's such a powerful time and a story behind it, and it's worth sharing, as it's immensely sad but also powerful, in that he's able to overcome such terrible circumstances and fighting his own demons, and he overcame it. This is the Works Cited. If you've listened, thank you so much, and I hope you can listen to the song yourself and appreciate a little bit more of Kanye West and what he's overcome as a person and as an artist.